I am Andrew Ryan, and I'm here to ask you a question. Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?
Bioshock, the atmospheric masterpiece crafted by the hands of Irrational Games Studios. Released in 2007, Bioshock is praised by both critics and gamers for its art direction, combat, story, and originality. Specifically, the story features a silent protagonist, Jack, during his shipwreck journey into the underwater city of Rapture, uncovering its dark secrets of civil conflicts and moral dilemmas. To the casual gamer, many pieces of the story and lore may have been overlooked, and many may have not realized how fucked up the game actually is. Here I want to dive into some of Bioshock's extensive background. Hi, I'm Gornica, and welcome to my channel. Let's examine one of the most iconic characters in the game, the Little Sisters and the Big Daddies. Throughout the game, you examine the Little Sisters, gatherers of Adam, and their protectors, the Big Daddies, men in gigantic diving suits. But where do these things come from? And surely Rapture wasn't always like this. Rapture went from a pristine utopia to a harrowing slum. First, let's examine Adam. In Bioshock, Adam is a chemical substance with the ability to rewrite the genetic code in humans. Adam was found by a geneticist in Rapture, Dr. Bridget Tenenbaum, sometime in the late 1940s after Rapture's conception by Andrew Ryan. One day, Tenenbaum noticed that a dock worker working in Neptune's Bounty, a port complex located in Rapture, was using his previously unusable, permanently crippled hand. Tenenbaum thought, how is this possible? In which the worker was just as shocked. It was revealed that the worker was bit by one of the sea slugs brought in from fishing. This slug, native to the area around Rapture, miraculously cured the worker's crippled hand with a single bite. From here, Tenenbaum set out to find and study the slug for herself. This was the start of the fall of Rapture. Tenenbaum found that these slugs naturally produced this odd substance, which she coined as Adam. She speculated that these slugs did not always produce Adam, but the ability came from a mutation caused by the neighboring luminescent biomass located on the ocean floor close to Rapture. Through extensive testing, Tenenbaum found that Adam generally isn't usable in its raw form. To humans, Adam should be refined into a serum known as Plasmids. When injected into humans, Plasmids establish the ability to form new stem cells with the power to morph into any cell type. This includes cells not even native to the human body. This type of cell manipulation is comparable to cancer, destroying native cells in the body and replacing them with other unstable ones. Plasmids themselves were invented by Tenenbaum and Dr. Yi Su-chong, another geneticist, biologist, and medical researcher living in Rapture. The way plasmids were produced determined what modified stem cells enter the body. Tenenbaum and Su-chong's research was sponsored by Fontaine Futuristics, a company opened by Frank Fontaine, who saw promising profit and power in this new genetic research. With the obvious objective of using plasmids to improve the quality of life in individuals, it was determined that plasmids and gene tonics, a type of plasmid that gives users passive abilities, could be sold for consumer use. The first plasmids created for consumer use were made with the intent of household convenience, such as picking up objects from a distance, telekinesis, or lighting a lamp by zapping it with electricity. Citizens of Rapture were amazed at the scientific advancement, generally jumping on board without question. This quite literally gave humans superpowers. It's easy to see how these powers could lead to something more malicious. Very early on in this genetic industry, Fontaine Futuristics found they could not produce enough Adam for mass consumption. This led Tenenbaum to experiment with different ways to produce more Adam. Ultimately, through extensive testing, she found that implanting them in a human host's stomach would produce 30 times more usable Adam than the slugs ever could. Pushing almost all morals and ethics aside, Tenenbaum found the only viable hosts were children, specifically little girls. Tenenbaum had hoped that this procedure would render the little girls as vegetables, immobile Adam-producing powerhouses. However, it became the exact opposite. Little girls who were forced to undergo this procedure still maintain almost all typical characteristics of young children, like laughing, playing, and singing. They did, however, become nearly invulnerable to all bodily damage, and healed almost instantly. This did not stop them from feeling the sensation of pain, however. Initially, Frank Fontaine, the one who sponsored Tenenbaum's research, created a front for gathering the little girls. Fontaine Futuristics created a mock orphanage to take in little girls living in inadequate care and change them. Some parents even willingly put their girls into this programming, promising them a better life. As more people in Rapture started using Adam, the more their bodies craved it, and the more they started to physically and mentally deteriorate. With the apparent addiction, one of which was initially disregarded due to profit, everyone in Rapture started wanting Adam, and everyone needed it. Eventually, even little girls couldn't keep up with this production, and in the background of it all, a civil war between social classes was brewing. Here Suchong experimented with other ways to get Adam. He found it possible to recycle Adam from the blood of a dead body. This was perfect, Suchong thought, considering the increasing body count from ongoing civil disputes. But whose responsibility should it be to play vampire and extract Adam-rich blood from dead bodies? What better candidate than the little girls, who would soon be referred to as Little Sisters? They already produced Adam, and their implants made them nearly invincible. This, of course, did not come without hesitation from the girls. The aware Little Sisters weren't just going to jab needles in dead bodies to extract Adam. From here, Suchong developed a form of mental conditioning, or forced brainwashing, to change the way Little Sisters perceive the world around them. To them, just to name a few, dead bodies appeared as angels, blood became flower petals, and real guns became toy ones. The outcome of this, Little Sisters had become almost indestructible bloodthirsty vampires, running around jabbing dead bodies with needles to watch over the angels. They were created for one purpose, and they were good at it. Of course, Little Sisters started becoming targets for the increasing number of drug addicts, or splicers, as they were being referred to. Their aim was to kidnap the sisters and take Adam by any means possible. One solution was to employ a protector, a guardian to watch over the sisters at all times while they harvested the Adam. Fontaine Futuristics got to work again and created their protector called a Big Daddy. These Big Daddies were extremely spliced up humans, grafted into a large pressurized diving suit. Further mental conditioning of the Big Daddies and the introduction of pheromones to both Big Daddies and Little Sisters created an unbreakable bond. Little Sisters saw them as golden knights, and Big Daddies would protect them with their life. Further, Little Sisters saw all these monsters as the same golden knight, regardless if they were actually the same Big Daddy or not. They were attracted like moths to a flame. It was here Rapture really crumbled. Citizens, in the midst of a social class, turned themselves into physically and mentally deteriorated drug addicts, fighting with superpowers. It was a genetic arms race. The unnatural body modification and lack of ethics for profit, all made possible by Andrew Ryan, drove Rapture into the ground, and there was no coming back. Bioshock is really fucked up. If you guys enjoyed this video and want more videos like this, tap that little subscribe button right down there and leave me some suggestions in the comments for future videos. As always, I appreciate ya. See ya, nerds.